Marvel did not know how to market black people. Let's just keep it a buck. Even if they're animated, if it ain't Sony, it ain't Spider-Man, they didn't know how to market black people. Anyway, yes, I said it. Eyes of Wakanda. This is a series review of new Marvel Disney Plus show, and I gotta say this: Eyes of Wakanda. I'm not looking forward to it at all whatsoever. And as just like with Ironheart, along with this show and with Mahershala Ali as Blade, if we ever get that, Marvel did not know how to market black people. Let's just keep it a buck. Even if they're animated, if it ain't Sony, it ain't Spider-Man, they didn't know how to market black people. Anyway, yes, I said it. Anyway, but this was a very unique anthology series that was created by Marvel Studios, produced by Ryan Coogler. As you can tell, that his fingerprints was all over this because it's good. But I'll say that again, I think there's some issues with this show, not for the sense of material that it has, like, oh, it's not a bad show, but in terms of what it needed for the Black Panther mythos. And I thought the opportunity that they could have achieved with this, and they only scratched the surface, especially with the last episode. I thought it was just really frustrating, but just like, I just accept it for what it is. But JK, what was your thoughts just in terms of Eyes of Wakanda when it was announced, but after seeing all the episodes, like, what was your initial thoughts and like reception of the show?
When it was announced, I was interested because I'm like, there's so much Wakandan history that I remember from the comics that I'm like, there's so much that Ryan Coogler and team could explore, especially in an animated format where you don't got to worry about building sets or getting all the right people, at the right locations. Like, no, animation allows you to get the right people that you need, and to, like, heck, the animation in this is really, really good. Like, it's not Spider-Verse level or anything like that, but it's still really good in terms of the stories they're trying to tell. But when I was thinking this, I was like, oh, maybe we're going to see something about going back to the first Black Panther, going up to before King T'Chaka or something like that. I was not expecting it to be a story about the war dogs of Wakanda and the sacrifices that we've only hinted at before in the past Black Panther films about why they never interacted with the outside world, or why they were hesitant to build lives in the outside world outside of Wakanda and its borders. And you get to see that through 4 different perspectives throughout history, with the last episode very much having a huge, like, oh, Jesus Christ, wow, that one thing in the first Black Panther movie is a lot more important now than we thought. But yeah, no, it's like, it's still good. As we said, Marvel did not know how to market this because the first trailer for this came out 2 weeks before the show came out, and we've known about this show for like a good minute now. Like, I mean, hell, we're about to probably be in the same position with Marvel Zombies next month, so
Yeah. Cause I'm about to it'll be a separate video. Make sure you hit notification bell. I will be providing a recap of Marvel 2025. Cause it has not been the best in terms of things that they brought back, and and also financially what's going on with this year. This is not a winning year for them. Just keep it a buck here. But I will say that with this is that this film, like, this show had potential of being like the Avatar of the Marvel universe. Like, I mean, like, of a animated series, you focus on one person, and every generation there is one singular Black Panther. And again, we want to know about Bashenga. We want to know about that lineage and everything, because then they give us at least some ties to at least what we know what potentially going to happen in Black Panther 3. Again, we know Denzel Washington's going to be in it. We don't know who he's playing. Some people think he might be playing a villain or whatever, or some character from the Ancestral playing like a previous Black Panther or the first Black Panther. But I think, again, this show was a missed opportunity from there. But on top of what we have here is, like, you see that just a show just promoting isolism, and in a way that is just showing why Wakanda is the way that they are, even when it comes to being a part of historical events throughout history and retelling. Wakanda was there. He just wasn't written and mentioned in history. But at least they were there. But at least with the War Dog storyline, I think that was interesting. Just again, it gave him some sense of world building, but not
Hmm.
also like in a way of like you're creating something for the sake of, oh, we're just pulling a character of our our behind or whatever. Like, no, this is history and lore that you're establishing. Like with the lion, they didn't want to say king because that's IP infringement. But how can you steal from yourself? Um,
Right, right. Yeah, the lion voiced by good old Black Lightning from the CW.
right. But then seeing each war dog and then each episode jumping a generation, can you see the previous character just older? But then like you also get other characters like a new Iron Fist that now we have an Iron Fist quote unquote in the MCU, even though Netflix Marvel is now canon, and now what it wasn't canon, but now we're bringing it back as canon, and hopefully maybe Danny comes back, or they, at this point now we've seen two animated Iron Fists, both were Asians. So what did that tell you?
Yeah, and don't forget the Iron Fist of Marvel Rivals, who is also Asian.
Asian,
So like that
yeah.
says something. Where it's like Danny Rand, nah, but the other ones, including Colleen, yeah.
Right. But I think with this is like I thought they want to say an issue I had with this show again. I conceptually I think is, and I don't want to say my expectations of I wanted this show to be different in what it is and in what I wanted it to be. I don't want it to come across like that, but I just think it's just there's a big Black Panther problem we're having in the MCU, and I feel like this show is not fixing it. It's more of numbing the absence of a actual Black Panther with Chadwick. And yes, I know we got Letitia. I know she can come back for Doomsday and possibly Secret Wars and all that stuff like that. But I'm just saying there is a Black Panther problem we're having, and it's now more noticeable than ever. The fact that
Hmm.
like they are just trying to avoid away from that singular character as just a character, right? Um,
Right.
and I'm not saying you can't have no female Black Panthers. I'm not saying we have a female Iron Fist. That is part of history. That's not what we're saying here. But it has a Black Panther problem that they are scared and terrified to put this character in the spotlight. But at the same time, this is a character now that is $1 billion franchise on its own and making Spider-Man numbers, right? So, but yet you can't put any other character who's making Spider-Man numbers aside from Spider-Man now at this point that is not X-Men related. The numbers prove it. The closest character
Hmm.
ever got to that was Doctor Strange, and I don't see him making that money what he got in Multiverse of Madness anytime soon. Because I think the after effects of that has already been dealt with. But I it is not Thor, especially either. But yeah, I think that with Black Panther, I felt I mean, at least could just shown something. I mean, I know they mentioned, Bashinga and, mention of the previous Black Panthers and stuff, but just like you don't get the sense of that presence. Like you get
Right.
presence
Like
of the world, but I just felt that it was just, my only thing, it just felt empty. Like this is very good, very nice world building, like this watercolor, pastel colors, and everything like that. Like giving some sense of original animation, like you put work into this, right? And I can accept this for what it is instead of like what
mhm.
if you trying to cheat it and do whatever you want with that, right? But I felt, to me, even the voice acting, I felt some of it was great, but did it really let anything to be like lasting, in a way where it's like, oh man, I wish they go in the live action, they dress this, whatever. Like, no, they just ended with, oh yeah, remember that from Black Panther, the Easter egg? It was like,
Yeah, no, that's the thing with this. Is like anything that this leads to is stuff that we've already seen. Like the final episode revealed that the vibranium axe that Killmonger and Claw found, the reason that it's still there and that Wakanda never found it because if they did, well, in 100 or plus so years, the entire world's going to be eviscerated. Like, and yes, that episode did give us another Black Panther, the last Black Panther in a sense from the future. But the past 3 episodes, there has been no sign of like the Black Panther, or even the royal family. You get mentions of them, but you don't see anything of it till like the last episode with the future Black Panther that we see in the episode, and I guess the Wakandan like inner circle that you also see at the end of the episode as well. But besides that, there's no. It's like, yes, we know that it's not T'Challa or T'Chaka or Shuri, but it's like you could have shown, like, there have been multiple Black Panthers within the comics that have gone out throughout history. They are the reason Wakanda is the way it is. It's like you could have at least shown us, even if they weren't suited up. It's like, oh, this is King so and so or Queen so and so. They're the current Black Panther, you know, in suit or just in royal garb or something. And yes, it does show a glaring issue where it's like, we don't see a present Black Panther. Like outside of Shuri right now, we don't have a present day T'Challa or anyone like Black Panther. And that's something that I hope by the end of Doomsday and Secret Wars is addressed and rectified, because as much as we all miss Chadwick, that was 2020. It's been 5 years. It has been like 5 or 6 years. It'll be 6 years by the time we're in Doomsday and 7 by the time of Secret Wars. I think at this point, people are willing to accept that, especially since you have hinted that we will get recastings for characters like Captain America and Iron Man post
Secret Wars. The fact that
we have to get a new Black Panther T'Challa.
Yes, and the fact that he would not even mention the, oh yeah, we can recast Iron Man, we can recast Cap, but then yet you can't say we're gonna recast T'Challa. Now, either two things can be that. Either you're going to have that addressed in your next two movies, and even one alleged actor said, oh yeah, there has been talks. Yes, no. Right? You know, that, and because now that recast T'Challa has became a movement now. But just addressing with this show, I don't think this show was a mistake. I don't think this show was a waste of my time. I do feel, again, it is kind of making it more of a lingering issue now more than ever. The fact that they need to rectify this issue, because now you're giving me good material, but then it's almost left with no sense of weight or importance. Because, and I'm not saying that not understanding the knowledge of it is, because again, this is what I think Disney Plus is supposed to be, where you're having a show that has connectivity, but has too much connectivity to a point where it's almost become homework, but instead of actually just extra, content for you to digest and more appreciation of the material. I think that's what kind of been lacking with Disney Plus shows, and I feel like that's what's going to happen with them moving forward in terms of bridging that divide, where it's like it is still connectivity in there, but it's not as that important, like pivotal. It was just for people who are diehards. You can watch live actions and they're like, oh, you see that's connected to this. But other side from that, I thought this was a really decent show. Good voice acting. I thought some of the animation was really some of the best Marvel has done. And also action wise, I felt that they did a really good job animating that. It was giving some sense of Gods of Egypt vibes to it. That, to me, like that type of animation, something I miss as a fan. But aside from that, I thought it was pretty decent. But we already addressed the problem of it. But aside from that, what overall rating will you give this show out of 10?
I would give it, because again, it's like I really like this. I would honestly give it like an 8 out of 10, because it is a really good show. Even with the problems that we have addressed, I still really enjoyed seeing it, with the Lion's Den, with the, Iron Fist that we got in there, with exploring a new story with the whole Trojan horse story, which is funny given the fact that we got the Odyssey next year, and the last Black Panther story too. It's like those were all really good 4-episode 30-minute stories, and I heavily enjoyed it, and I don't feel like I was wasted at all. There is the glaring issue, but if you take away that glaring issue, I would give it an 8 out of 10, because it was a good show. Not great, but it was definitely in the right track of what Disney Plus Marvel will hopefully be going forward, both animated and live action wise.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'll say 8 out of 10 for me. And I will say, aside from X-Men 97, this is probably my second favorite, animated stuff to come out of Marvel. I mean, depending on certain what if episodes, but I'll just say,
Yeah, no.
in terms of a show in its entirety that had a vision and execution that they intended to be, and I think as a piece of art, is just appreciation of them, for Disney allowing them to do that, and also not pandering, not feel like they gotta be messaging in the show. There is definitely a lot of themes in this, just showing them as a country, as a nation, but not in a sense of showing oppression and racism or anything like that. Like, they just show it, and there's even some things they did show that was very jarring, like people getting branded and all this stuff like that, right? Like, the fact that they didn't pull away from that and being fully authentic, but that wasn't the main point of the show.
Right.
I appreciate for them doing that, but at least acknowledging that it exists and that it's real. Again, that's just showing good respect to the material, but also just knowing your audience and knowing what the overall story. Like, you don't want to make this a depressing story. There's moments of sadness in the show, but there are different points of history, but it's showing just the overall devotion that Wakanda has to the nation, and its people have to the nation above anything else. But yeah, aside from that, make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Let us know your thoughts on excuse me. Let us know your thoughts on Eyes of Wakanda. Did you like it? Did not like it? Let us know in the comment section down below, and make sure the notification bell and give you up to date anything, more videos coming, reviews wise, later this week. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.